So we talk a lot about continuous. A lot of failure, a lot of falling, a lot of learning. So when we talk about innovation, we can't just have failure. There's got to be more than that. Because if all we're done is failing, then we're obviously not going to hit the mark. So we talked earlier about inspecting what we expect. So as we go through this development process, failure is measured by how far off we are from the mark or the business change that we wanted to really hit. And our OCD plans, or defined backlog, is how we manage that. So I've asked Jesse to share a few thoughts on the OCD plan and how we manage backlogs.
Thanks, Brian. I'd like to talk to everyone about the product backlog and how I see it, how we see it as Scrum Masters, how we see it as product owners, and how I hope you can come to see it. Before I do that, I'd like to give you a couple of insights, a couple of things that you can take away right now. The product backlog is our building blocks. It's our roadmap forward. And in those building blocks, we have tools. Tools that we can use to gauge our adherence to ROI, tools by which we can measure ROI goals, tools by which we can measure business change. So how do I see the product backlog? I take a step back. I see it like a painter. A painter works from the general to the specific, and the end result is in their mind's eye. A plan leads to an outline helps to acknowledge the forms and the shapes, and each step of that process is transparent. Each step stands alone. It's a product in and of itself. So after those cycles, after those iterations, we inspection. The painter carefully inspects the work to determine if an adaptation to the process needs to be made, if the painting needs that something else, or if the product is, dare I say it, complete. So what's all this mean? Well, we build products like a painter paints. Our general to the specific, our building blocks, are the elements of the backlog. The elements, the iterative approach, those things help us to address complex problems, but we don't just address them. We address them with the knowledge that can only come from experience. And that experience comes from taking that step back like a painter. But the product backlog is not just our building blocks, right? It's our roadmap forward. Remember that the outline helps us see our forms and our shapes. The product backlog helps us see it is our roadmap forward. So how do we get from Oakwood's consumption-driven plan to matching business value to our painting? We engage business champions and product owners like partners. We are servant leaders. And when needed, we are coaches. Doing so allows us to assist in building a transparent backlog. This transparent backlog makes it much easier to track adherence to ROI. And we continue to adapt and groom so that we can carefully craft the goals of each of those cycles, of each of those iterations. This approach lets us and our partners live in a space where we are productively and creatively, and I'm going to say it again, it's really important, productively and creatively delivering products with the highest value possible based on what is known.
That's the beauty of the OCD plan, and that's not just something for Oakwood. That's a good development practice. When we talk about being innovative, it's not just about failing early and failing often. It's important. It's crucial. It has to happen. But it's about that creative eye for what is that business change? Where are we going? What are we driving towards? And that disciplined approach to it every iteration, at every turn, at every step. Let's validate where we're at. Let's measure it.